Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to tune in. It's 11:56 as I record this right now. Part of me says go to sleep, but the football fan in me, I can't let it rest. The game that we just saw, Sunday night football matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams, we got so many things to talk about. This is telling me, okay, football is back. We saw some great games in the week one slate. We still have Monday night football, but the Detroit Lions and the LA Rams just put on a stinger, and we got to talk all about it. We got a game recap. Let's run it. The Detroit Lions defeat the Los Angeles Rams 26-20 in a must-watch overtime battle. There are so many things we have to talk about. I want to dive straight in. Jared Goff, 18 of 28, 217 yards, one touchdown, one interception. David Montgomery, 17 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Jameson Williams kind of got unlocked in this game. We're going to talk about that as well. 5 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown in this football game. Going to the flip side, Matthew Stafford, 34 of 49. A lot of passes in this game. 317 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Kyron Williams, 18 carries, 50 yards, and a touchdown. Then you had Cooper Kupp, 14 receptions, 110 yards, and one touchdown. Puka Nacua went out early in this game, and it's really, as far as the offensive line for the Los Angeles Rams, there was a lot of things going on. They were down to their third and fourth tackle, as far as their left tackle and their right tackle. So they had suspensions from Alaric Jackson. They had backup offensive linemen being injured. They were down to their last guys. This was just an insane matchup due to a lot of different reasons. But I want to start from overtime. We're going to do this kind of different from how we do other recaps because this is worth something different. Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions on that final drive. David Montgomery running the football down the throats of the Los Angeles Rams. Chris Shula, Byron Young, everybody on the Los Angeles Rams defense and the defensive coordinator as well. There was no answer. If you see how happy Jared Goff got when the Detroit Lions won the coin toss, he knew it was over. Because I'm gonna just say it like this, and this is something I want to say as far as Dan Campbell and this team in general. Dan Campbell is not the Kyle Shanahan of the world. He's not the D'Amico Ryans of the world. He's not the Robert Salas of the world. He's not the mastermind in terms of X's and O's. Now, he played football. He was a tight end, has that background, is an offensive mind, but that's Ben Johnson's job. He helps with the offense, but this is Ben Johnson's offense. He's calling the plays. Defensively, you have Aaron Glenn. He runs the show there. But I think even for as much as teams want to get an X and O's type of coach, a mastermind in that aspect of the game, I still think that the type of coach that Dan Campbell is, what he brings to this football team, I can bet you a lot of coaches want to replicate it. You look at some of the things he says, the way these guys play for Dan Campbell, how emotional he is in press conferences and interviews, that's real. And I think that what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have built, I think it's sustainable. And we're looking at a team with a lot of young players. Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, Jameer Gibbs, Jameson Williams. We can keep Panay Sewell. We can keep going on and on for days. There's a young core with this football team. And with Dan Campbell, they want to play. The way that David Montgomery was running in overtime, he was looking like he was a completely different player. Now, mind you, this is NFL Week 1. Guys are already tired. Guys have to play themselves into shape. Of course, there's OTAs, there's preseason, but for a lot of these guys, David Montgomery, the real starters in the NFL, they don't get the preseason reps that some of these other guys do. So even though they train, even though they do things during the offseason, they're still trying to play their way into shape. David Montgomery was running in overtime like he got stronger as the game went on. You look at that final drive, and it was just mesmerizing. Jameer Gibbs catching the ball out of the backfield, running the football, everything about this just showcases resilience. This is a football team to be reckoned with, and I think we saw that in this game. Like I said, you can have the X's and O's coach. You can have the guy who's a mastermind, but you can't really replicate the type of coach that Dan Campbell is. And there's a lot of teams that try to build a culture, that try to have something in place to where we say, okay, this is how our franchise is ran. This is how we operate. This is the type of guy that has to play for our football team. For the Detroit Lions, it actually comes true. And that's just a testament to Dan Campbell. That's a testament to Jared Goff. Like we saw, traded away from the Los Angeles Rams. How many times have you heard that storyline before? I'm just getting excited talking about this because looking at this football game, I truthfully thought that the LA Rams had a lot of momentum going for themselves. You look at what Cooper Kupp was doing in this football game, he couldn't be contained. Even with Puka Nacua going down, it had Tyler Johnson. He had the big time catch, breaks a tackle. Now he's going all the way down the football field. He puts them in scoring position. Kyron Williams gets a touchdown. Now they're starting to click. Now you're saying, okay, every time we're looking at it, Matthew Stafford is making an amazing throw. It was DeMarcus Robinson. It was Colby Parkinson. He was just doing different things. This was one of his better games in his NFL Week 1. We know what this offense is going to be. We know the type of coach that Sean McVay is. He is going to call it up. Now, I think it was good for the Detroit Lions to see a test like this because understanding what the LA Rams are on offense, understanding what they're going to be this season, I think still in the secondary, there's some things that have to be worked out. I think now you have a surplus of talent. You got some good guys in the room. You bring over Carlton Davis and Meek Robinson. You draft Ennis Rakestraw, Terry Arnold. Terry Arnold, man, really, really tough breaks in this game. And that was part of the momentum shift that we saw in this football game. He gets a pass interference. Then he gets an illegal contact. He gets a flag on Cooper Kupp. You're looking at 2 back-to-back flags in the back of the end zone that now give the LA Rams first downs, and they capitalize on both of those opportunities. So just things like that where you say, okay, even with the Detroit Lions, they were looking pretty good in this football game. They had all the momentum. LA Rams, now we're looking in the second half. They make the comeback. Boom. Now we get into overtime. Jake Bates, he ties it up with the field goal. Everything is just going on, but it's settled. When the Detroit Lions won that toss, I'm telling you, you have to look at what Jared Goff was. You have to look at his mindset. You have to look at how they called the plays on that drive. The LA Rams were never going to get the football back. And I think if you look at how the football game went and kind of how Jahmyr Gibbs was catching steam, kind of how David Montgomery was catching steam, there was no shot. It was one run that David Montgomery had in overtime where he broke about 3 tackles. There's guys diving at his legs. There's guys trying to tackle up top, and he's breaking tackles, still running, making that second effort, making that extra effort to try to fall forward, get that first down, get as much yards as possible. And then Jameson Williams, that was the icing on the cake, unlocking him in this football game. Because you look at it, okay, Sam Laporta, 4 catches, 45 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 4 receptions, 34 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown was pretty quiet in this football game, but Jameson Williams had the big time touchdown that I think really opened it up for the Detroit Lions. Just had a double move against Tre'Davious White, and he wins on that. Also had the flag, too. That didn't even matter. He was so wide open. Jared Goff finds him on the left sideline, and it's a big time touchdown. And then also, they got Jameson Williams involved on another little end around pass. He's getting in the open field. Just a lot of different things. Getting his speed on the football field, getting him acclimated, implementing him into this offense. And when you look at it, they're pretty thin at the receiver position. You have Khalif Raymond, you have Tim Patrick, who they recently added. You have some guys along the wide receiver tree, but still, I think Jameson Williams, if you want this offense to have the continuity, the consistency that we've seen for the past few years, it's his time now. And this was his coming out party. I want to know what you guys think. Not like I said, there's a lot of different things that happen in this football game and a lot of things we're going to have to get to. But just kind of, I wanted to give my instant reaction. I want to talk about this right now. This couldn't wait. Because just everything in this game, man, it was a special one. You had Matthew Stafford. He throws the interception to Kirby Joseph. That was a turning point in the game. Then Jared Goff, he throws an interception to the linebacker for the LA Rams. So John Johnson, he gets an interception. You're looking at the replay. Did the football hit the ground? And I think he came away clean with it. So it's just things like that, man. I'm really passionate about this one. This was exciting. How can you not be? I mean, Detroit Lions, man, this was a truly exciting game. And like I said, this is different from my other recaps, but it has to be. If you enjoy football, if you love the game, you love this game. You had to, whether you're a fan of either of these teams or whether you aren't. Like I said, I cover every team, but looking at this football game, man, and then we got another one on Monday night. We got the 49ers versus the Jets, the NFC. The NFC has a lot of heavy hitters, and we're going to see a lot of good football. We just saw the Green Bay Packers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments. I've done enough talking for this one. Got a lot more games to get to. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see some all 22 breakdowns coming up this week, if you want to see the rest of my game recaps coming up this week, we got a lot of football to talk about, man. I got to contain myself. That's going to do it for today, and now